Today on Review This Thing, we're going to review these things, the First Lite Furnace bottoms and top. First Lite is a company that is known for making pretty high-end hunting gear. Their mission statement says that they strive to provide the best possible apparel for the hunter who demands nothing less. So the question is, do they do that, and is it worth it? The furnace gear is made of 350-gram expedition weight fleeced merino. My husband and I went on a hunting trip a few weeks ago, and I was able to wear it for pretty much a whole week straight. So I wanted you to know my experience so I could share with you if it's something you should buy. As always on Review This Thing, we're going to cover the 5 facts. The first piece of that is fit. First, I want to talk about the fit of the top. So I bought a men's small. I did that for a couple reasons. One, I wanted to wear it as a middle layer and just wear a thinner next to skin layer underneath. Often the women's clothing is cut really tapered or form-fitting, and often that makes it too tight to wear things under it comfortably. So I wanted to make sure I had a little bit extra room. The other thing was that I had read some reviews about the women's tops, and it said that the arms were really tight. Now, I don't have bodybuilder arms, but a lot of times women's clothing is too tight on my forearms and on my elbows. So again, I just wanted to have plenty of room. I wanted to be comfortable and able to move. So I went with the men's size small, which are often a little bit too big for me, which was the same case for these. Now, this is a tip for you if it's a little bit too big, but also a huge, tremendous warning. What I did was, the first time I washed it, I put it in the dryer for about 40 minutes to see if it would shrink, and it absolutely did. I don't know if you can tell, but now the arms are basically the perfect length, and it's definitely more the size that I wanted it to be. So if you need it to shrink, try the dryer for just a little bit, but if you don't want it to shrink, if it fits you perfectly now, do not put it in the dryer, even for 20, 30 minutes. Okay, now for the fit of the furnace bottoms. I bought a men's small in this as well. Sometimes men's smalls are too big for me, but I felt like these fit exactly how I wanted them to. My plan was to wear them over another thinner base layer just like the top, so I didn't want them to be too tight, but they're also definitely not way too big either. So for me, the fit was absolutely perfect. Now my husband got a medium in the bottoms, which is what he usually gets, and they fit him perfectly. And he also usually wears a medium top, and that one fit him perfectly as well. These seem to fit exactly how you would expect them to fit. If you normally get a small, medium, medium. Because of that, I'm gonna have to give fit a 5 out of 5. Now, are the First Lite Furnace top and bottom as advertised? I'm gonna show you this real quick. It is a brushed fleece merino. And one of the things that First Lite advertises is that brushed fleece, the loft in that fabric gives you a great deal of additional warmth without adding a whole lot of weight. I would definitely say these are, they're thicker than the lighter weight, but they're also not so heavy that you feel like you can't put anything else on, like you don't feel weighed down by it. I would also attest that they are very warm. Now, one caveat, we weren't in super cold weather. It probably didn't get under 30 degrees, so I wasn't in the single digits or teens, but for the situations that I was in, I was perfectly warm the whole time. So they definitely are lighter weight than you may expect, and they definitely keep you warm, at least in the temperatures we experienced. First Lite also advertises that these are the ideal piece for layering. I use them that way, absolutely. I always had a thinner base layer under the bottoms or under the top. And I would also just wear a jacket over top, or, of course, my pants to help block the wind and be water resistant if there was a chance of rain. Also, in terms of layering, a lot of times I would just leave them in my pack, and then whenever, after walking in and getting warm, I would kind of settle in, get where I was going, and then add these as an additional layer of warmth as well, and that seemed to work perfectly. Being merino wool, one of the natural abilities of it is to be odor resistant. Now, I don't recall a situation where I had a lot of deer downwind, so I don't know if they would have smelled me, but I do know that after wearing them several days, there was no noticeable odor that I could tell. So they absolutely function as that kind of odor resistant mid and base layer also. The top and bottom are definitely what I would consider lightweight for the amount of warmth that they provide. They're definitely warm, and they provide an awesome mid layer in that layering process. Because of that, I'm going to have to give, as advertised, a 5 out of 5. Now on to construction and durability. I want to talk about the top a little bit first. I love the way that this shirt is made. It is definitely nice and thick and warm, and you have that lofted fleece. It also has these awesome thumb holes, which are great for making sure you don't lose your sleeves when you put your jacket over top. And And they also did a really good job of keeping my hands warm in addition to my gloves as well. I also like the zip-up collar. There's a Henley version as well that has buttons, but I wanted the zip-up because I wanted it to be able to come up and keep my neck warm as well, and it does a great job of that. As I mentioned, I got the Furnace zip-off boot top bottoms, and that's for a couple reasons. One, I think I mentioned this before, I wanted to put them on later. And having them be zip-off, I was able to walk in with what I had on, and then you just pull your top layer down, put these on, zip them up, and then pull your top layer up without having to take your boots off. That's the beauty of the boot height, is you don't have to shove them all in your boot or pull them out of your boot. The other thing is that my calves are pretty big, and so anytime you add layers, it just makes my boots a lot tighter. So I definitely appreciate that they are boot height so that it's not even more things in my boot making them tighter. My only issue with the pants is that, and I think it's more an issue with my boots than my pants, but my boots are really tall, so these didn't just easily tuck in. So I had to kind of force them in just a little bit, but only an inch or so to be able to then get my pants up above it. But overall, they definitely helped keep my legs and my midsection warmer once I was able to get them on. I will say that we just got these this year, so this is the first season that I've worn them, so I can't speak to long-term longevity of being able to wear them for several years. The week that we hunted, I wore them every day and they held up great. Do keep in mind that you follow the wash and wear instructions. You can machine wash them on a gentle cycle, but you definitely want to hang them up to dry. Putting all those pieces together, I really like the way they're built, the way they fit. They're super, super, super comfortable, and so far they're holding up pretty well. So because of that, I'm going to give construction and durability a 5 out of 5. Now on to testimonials and reviews. You can only buy First Lite gear on First Lite's website, so that's the only place where I can find any scored reviews. The top had about 76 reviews, but the bottoms only had 5 reviews. Now the good thing about the bottoms is all 5 reviews were 5 out of 5, so there's not really any negative pieces to report about it. And the only one that I could tell you was more my boot being the issue than the pants themselves. All of the scores on the tops were either a 4 or a 5, and the only somewhat negative comments people had, a couple people felt like the fit was a bit boxy. I happen to like the way that it's built. It gives me plenty of room for things under it, and it also just is really comfortable. The other one, somebody said that the top was too long. I'm sure mine shrunk up a little bit whenever I dried it, but I also like the length because I feel like once you tuck it in, you're able to keep it in without it riding up with all the sitting that you do often when you're hunting. And that also helps keep your low back warm, where your kidneys are and all that, so that you're also warmer just in that regard as well. Overall score, we have to go with what the score is that we found. So for testimonials and reviews, we give these a 4.9 out of 5. Okay, finally, why you came here to begin with. Should you buy these things? Normally I talk about all these certain factors that go into it, but I'm just going to skip all that and say, should you buy these things? I would say, yeah, for sure. Absolutely buy a pair of these. They are probably the most comfortable base layers I've ever had. They're the warmest base layers I've ever had. And they fit the bill and accomplish exactly what I was going for. Now, price is definitely a factor. You get what you pay for. They are merino wool, so keep that in mind. But they do have sales throughout the year. So if it's something that you think you may want to buy, just either keep watch or sign up for their newsletter and you'll be alerted. I know last week or so they had a 20% off sale. So if it's something you think you want to buy, then just watch and buy it whenever you can find it on sale. Now, again, I didn't wear it in super, super cold weather. So one thing, if you have these and you've worn them in really cold weather, please comment below. Good experience, bad experience, either way. I definitely want to know. But for what I wanted it for, they were absolutely amazing. I would highly recommend them, highly suggest that you get a pair if you do a lot of cold weather, cool weather, sitting and hunting. Overall, I'm very happy with them, very pleased with everything about them so far. So if something changes, I'll comment below and let you know. But for now, should you buy this thing? Absolutely, 5 out of 5. Hey, thanks for watching our video. If you have the Furnace top or bottom, please comment below and let us know what you think, good or bad. Also, if you have any other questions, comment below and hopefully I will be able to answer them for you. While you're here, check out a few other videos and click that subscribe button. And don't forget to go ahead and like us on Facebook and follow us on Instagram. Hope you have a great day.